Hello, I'm Patrick Barredo, Director of Social Outreach and Advocacy at St. James Cathedral. In the 2019 introductory letter to the most recent edition of Forming Consciences for Faithful Citizenship, the U.S. bishops of the United States inspire us to walk with those who suffer and to work toward justice and healing. There might be no greater example than this event that took place early in Jesus' ministry. Villagers climbed on top of someone's roof, opened it up, and lowered a paralyzed man with a hope-filled faith that their friend would be healed by Jesus. It is important to do the works of mercy, such as caring for the sick and infirm. Here at St. James Cathedral, we feed the hungry almost every day of the week. Charitable works are at the heart of the Cathedral's mission to the people of Seattle. But we do more than just charity. We also work for justice, especially for those who are invisible or have no voice. Today, we can be like those villagers by bringing the concerns of ourselves, our neighbors, and our world to those who wield political power. Faithful citizenship should compel all constituents to work with their elected officials, not just during election season, but all year round, to call for the passage of legislation that is both right and just. When we do so, we work for the salvation of the world and the building of the kingdom, the reign of God. There are many cathedral parishioners who provide direct service by serving in our daily meal programs. There are many more people from St. James who call on their elected officials at the city, county, state, and federal levels to enact legislation that will undo systemic barriers for those who face food insecurity. I'm with you at the end of January 2021 and some other areas that need attention so that the kingdom, the reign of God, might flourish are housing and homelessness, equitable economic relief due to the COVID pandemic, an end to the death penalty, racial diversity, equity, and inclusion, and care for the earth and all of God's creation. All of these themes spring out of the need to honor and dignify the sanctity of all life, from its nascent beginnings to its natural end. We do this work as missionary disciples with well-formed consciences. The conscience is the voice of God resounding in the human heart. Citizens and constituents with well-formed consciences are people who pray to God, who open themselves to receiving God's truth, who study and understand sacred scripture and church teaching, and who seek out facts and relevant information. As missionary disciples, we engage in a process of encounter, experiencing the world and sharing the lives of our neighbors. Disturbance, listening to our consciences to see how our dignity and the dignity of our neighbors might be stripped away. And response, striving for the fullness of the kingdom, the reign of God, here on earth, by helping our leaders make decisions that reflect what we believe, calling for right and just legislation and laws to improve the lives of our sisters and brothers. We apply this missionary discipleship model of encounter, disturbance, and response when we exercise our moral obligation to be faithful citizens and constituents. It is not enough to serve breakfast or dinner every day to the hundreds who go hungry. We must also work as faithful citizens and constituents to urge our elected officials to enact legislation that will create just systems in which hunger no longer exists. We do all of this out of a love that compels us to seek the greatest good for our sisters and brothers. May we be like the villagers who sought a better life for their paralyzed friend. May each and every one of us exercise our moral obligation to be faithful citizens and constituents, bringing our concerns for our neighbors to our elected officials. And may we respectfully work with our elected officials to create a more perfect union for the greater glory of God. Thank you.